Hello everyone, welcome to another Sunday stream. My name's Peter, thank you for joining me. Okay, so today we're going to have a little bit of fun with some new parts and also just generally muck around a bit to begin with at least, and then we'll see what we would do from there. So I'm just going to cover this. So I've created a couple of quite amusing vessels, should we say, for lack of a better term. Okay, and just gonna quickly have a look at those just for a laugh as much as anything. Okay, and the first one is this. Okay, yeah, and it's that. Okay, but what I'm going to do is just modify it because right now we have a bit of an issue. And that issue is it's doing this as it comes off, but we'll see that in a sec. So I'm just adding a bit of off balance to try and help. Off balance for us to help reverse that. Hopefully I've put it on the right side. Okay. So. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that didn't work. Let's try it one more time, shall we? Right, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, this is not going to work. You could see what the idea was though. So I'm going to go back to the VRB. VAB. Okay. And we're going to go with this, which is what I've just built out of the new boosters. Okay, it's basically a take on the Ares 1. Okay, so this does get into orbit with a solid rocket first stage, nice and easily. Okay. Let's see what we can do, shall we? Let's launch this puppy. So I have my trusty Choco Crow mug all the way over from Tokyo, Japan. It was a year ago last week that I was in Japan. I was actually there, no, a little more than a week ago now, last year. It was for my birthday, which passed on the 6th. So I've turned frost down on this, okay. So the thrust flame is a lot nicer on these as well nowadays. We've updated to the new Unity platform. Okay. We've got our action groups here now, which we can do. So that's good. Now, do we still have our Delta V map? No, we don't. So I've had to get rid of pretty much all of my mods right now, because of the change on Unity version that they've used in this version of Kerbal Space Program. Just going to move that up to there. Now it's starting to go really sideways. So there we go. There we go. I'm going to hit 2. There we go. Just going to try and adjust this now. That'll do. Just hit this fast forward button. I'm just gonna another 40 odd seconds till burn, so we're just gonna count down to 20ish. Three, 2, 1. By the way, just going to refresh the Twitch because on my end it's saying I'm still not. Oh, there we go. That is alright then. Guys, let me know if you have any issues. I've been having some issues today where I've been trying to make some changes to improve the channel. It's actually took us back a step at the moment. Yeah. I've actually got rid of chatbot by Streamlabs at the minute because it will only let me stream to one of my channels simultaneously, whereas I actually want it to be able to stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Or interact with both chats. If any of you got any recommendations for software to do with that sort of thing, let me know. Been having a look at something called Stream Elements. Don't know if that's any good. It looks like it's a web-based thing, which is not ideal. Don't really want to be having more websites open than I need while streaming. So the other changes is we've got our action groups in map mode now. I'm going to hold it back because we know this can get into orbit quite well. So this is great vessel just for going to and from a space station, for instance. But we're now going to do that and turn retrograde and then turn off SAS. That will let us self-stabilise. There we go, starting to self-stabilise now. Up to 4 Gs. Deceleration there. And we're good for our drogues, so go drogues. And go main shoots. There we go, we're coming to land. Nice and easy. And it went boom. There we go, we're covering that one. So I was thinking about doing yet another series, okay. So at the minute we've got Transport Fever on a, well, that wasn't, I swapped a man this week for some reason. Kerbal Space Program Career Mode, Transport Fever, Foundation, and then the normal Sunday stream. And then Airport CEO when the time allows, and when new features become available. Now, obviously with the new flight simulator coming out next year, I'm wondering about doing a round the world flight. Okay, so it's not a single flight that I'm planning to do. It is a series, okay. So for instance, I'll go from my hometown of my home city now of Norwich, which the airport is only about 10 minutes drive away, to Paris, Paris to Switzerland or Italy, Italy to Turkey or Greece, then on to Lebanon, the Middle East, India, and you know, a series of shorter flights, shall we say. Okay, so I might be doing that at some point as a preparation, shall we say. That'll be in Flight Simulator X, which looks absolutely awful graphically now. But there we go. Right, okay, so I have an idea. Don't know if it's a good idea, but I have an idea. Okay. So we're going to give it a go. One of them. And one of them. And then we're going to need 2 small engines, so we'll go with 2 of those. Boom. Hello. Just little things don't seem to quite add up as well as they used to. And then we're going to go aerodynamics. We're going to want our mass and our aero. So at the minute we are generating a bit of lift, but not as much as we would like. So. What I'm thinking is. That'll do. Now I need some wheels. I think we'll go with some mediums. That'll do, like that. And maybe a shorty on the front. Okay, so let's just see how that flies first on its own. Nice wheelie, got wheelie. Yeah, that does not fly at low level on its own. Right. That's fine though, because it's not designed to. So yes, that is my crazy plan, okay. How much fuss does that put out? 1,500. I reckon we can shoot that down to about 70%. Now, we really need to change something here. Because these wheels are not going to be long enough. So, we're going to go with one of these underneath. A couple of longer ones under here. And then we need to get our wings in. So, there we have our design, basically. Just going to put another vertical stabilizer in there. Let's launch this and see what happens. Don't know if it's going to be good or not, but there we go. We will find out. It flies. So I'm going to pitch up about 45 degrees here, quite hard. We're going to pitch down a bit now to elongate our there we go. So we're going to do this is going to be a suborbital test flight. Okay, so whilst we wait for this to coast up to the out of the atmosphere, I'm going to have a look to see what launches we've got upcoming in real life. So, on the 25th, that is in 5 days' time, we have Quajiao 1A, Vigilin 1-02A is a remote sensing satellite in China. launching from an unknown pad in the Zhuquan complex. After that, no flights until the 1st of November. Again, is a Chinese satellite. Looks like Launcher 1 is going to have a test flight from the Mojave Air and Spaceport on the 1st as well. Then we've got an Indian flight on the 1st. Another Kuaizhou. Got a Falcon 9 Block 5 with Starlink. And then that's it until the 2nd. So as you can see, we haven't managed to get up into orbit. We could just do that, but we're not going to. Not today anyway. So we're just going to let it come in now. We're just going to flare down a bit. So I'm just flaring up a bit. Awesome. Whoa. I managed to pull it in all right. Right, okay, so now we need to fly ourselves like that. Really pull it up. Bleeding off as much speed as we can. But it's not liking this, look. Really not liking this. So guys, don't forget to hit us up in the chat. We had some really good chat going last week. We're getting there. Just speeding up a bit of time just to and we're out of fuel. But have we got enough to coast? Let's see, shall we? It's not a gliding plane really. Doesn't have enough lift. As you can see, we're only going forward at 130, but we're probably going down by quite a bit as well. Not quite 100, but probably about 50. So for every 100 and whatever. Yeah. So I'm going to leave our gear down up as long as we can. So I had something really cool happen at work this week. We currently have, for any of you that might be interested, sat next to my desk, the Ford World Rally car, the Ford Fiesta WRC, is on tour, and it's with my office, and we're going to crash. Oh, how did we survive that? So yeah, that worked. A bit better than I thought it would actually. What else can we do? Let's go over to switch header. Lovely transition there now. Is it junior minor? So we've created. Yeah, it's fine. So this is our new piece. So if we play it, go. There we go. So what happens here? We've got any action groups here? Yeah. So, I'm just going to take this out to the launchpad so you can see what it's like. So, if we go 2, I'm just trying to compare these. But what that does is that. So now level. And now if we press that, there we have it. And what does 4 do? That. So we have plenty of cooling, plenty of everything. So if we go 4, 1, and 3, there we go. Using the robotic parts well there, and let's launch. They will not launch on this pad. Not yet, anyway. There we go. There we go, 2. That is not a target angle that we want. 4 and 1. There we go. Let's see how much drag these cause. Awesome. See how high we can get. Cool. There we go. Broke off. And there we go. See what height we get up to. Oh. And we're going down like a missile. Boom. There we go. Right. Drag us down to 0. Okay. There we go. Now, let's try it one more time. Okay, so if we go 2, when we go 1 and 4. There we go. Looking good. So 1, 4. And once that's done, 3. Boom. Here we go. Done. Now, we do not have that version on this rocket at the moment, but we will do eventually, okay? So, I want to get some work done on the channel, graphically, functionality and all of that. So I am going to cut this stream short today. However, what I do want to do, one second, is something else quickly, and that is a YouTube video. Okay, so where is it? Bear with me. Is it still here? Yeah, so I've still got that, okay. So, I'm just going to switch to screen one. Okay. I'm just going to close Kerbal. We're going to finish out with this, okay? Which is a video that has been released on Microsoft Flight Simulator by the developers. Okay. So this is an update.
Hi everyone, I'm Lionel Fuentes, lead engine programmer here at Asobo Studio. We are developing the next generation of Microsoft Flight Simulator. As you can see behind me, people are hard at work testing the current work in progress version that we have. So when we started working on Microsoft Flight Simulator, that was at the same time scary and super exciting because there are so many things to do. I will talk about one of the biggest things that we had to do, and this is a key feature for flight simulators, that is the world. I will speak about the world through 4 main points. I will speak about the data sources, the augmentations from those data sources that we could compute on Azure, more on this later, a little bit about the impact on bandwidth, and then some procedural generation techniques that we developed. So the world, our planet, is really beautiful. It is full of natural wonders, from Ayers Rock to the Himalayan mountains, to also man-made features like the Statue of Liberty, Mont Saint-Michel, the Tour Eiffel. So we wanted to get all of those features in the simulator for you to enjoy. So when we started doing this, we realized how much the world is big. The world is really big, and to the point that we even had to change the internal way we represent a 3D point in space in our engine, like from single precision floating point to double precision floating point, because we couldn't handle that big of a world. And the biggest impact of this was on the amount of data, because you need a lot of data to represent the world. Luckily enough, Bing Maps was here with 2 petabytes of aerial imagery, elevation data, 3D scans for a select number of cities. So all of this data were there, sitting, ready for us to stream in the simulator. This allowed us to get all the airports in the world, which we estimate to more than 40,000, to get all the cities across the world, which we estimate to more than 2 million, to get all the roads in the world, to get all the mountains in the world. Basically, the entire world is there available for you to fly. Not only do you have the entire world, but it also matches the real world. And the big consequence for this is that now VFR flying is available for you everywhere. So for those of you that don't know what VFR means, it means Visual Flight Rules, and it's a way of flying your aircraft by relying on visual cues in the environment, like where you see a given city or a given river. So for example, when in real life we do some piloting, and when in the DR400 we can see the Garonne River here and the city of Martillac there, we can deduce where we're going. The amazing thing is that now we can recreate this very experience right inside the simulator. So I encourage you, once you get the chance to try it, to fly over your house. So we got all those data, but then we needed really more data than that. The reason we needed those data is because we still didn't know where to place trees. We still didn't know what shape building should have, and what color its roof should be, what is the type of roof over there. So in order to generate those additional data, we relied on Azure Cloud Computing. Azure allowed us to run AI algorithms and computer vision algorithms in order to detect all the trees in the world, which we estimate to more than 1.5 trillion. It allows us to improve the building's generation system by detecting the color of the roofs or the roof type. It also adds us to add missing buildings information where we don't have those information in the data sources we use. It also allows us to improve on the quality of being map serial imagery. Like sometimes some area can be captured with clouds on top of them, and then we can detect those and replace them with texture synthesis that happens at runtime. So to put some images on what I'm talking about, this is an island in near New Guinea. If we only had Bing Maps data there, the island would be kind of flat and you wouldn't have the trees and the buildings. So thanks to the detection that we could run on Azure, we know where to place trees, we know where to place buildings, we know what the buildings should look like, and this allows us to create a much more believable and precise / accurate representation of the Earth. But what about the impact of my internet connection? Because at this point, you may be wondering, we are streaming all of those data, like Bing Maps data, Azure augmentation data. We represent the entire world. So what happens if I don't have high bandwidth available? What happens if even I have no internet connection at all? We ask ourselves this very question, and I'd like to answer it through 3 main points. The first one is that we do adaptive streaming. What this means is that we measure real-time the bandwidth you're using and adapt our bandwidth requirements according to this measure. The net result of this is that the better your bandwidth, the better your overall experience. Next, we developed a full offline mode. So this is for the extreme case where you have 0 available bandwidth. We synthesize the ground textures, and we also still have all the buildings data and all the water data, and for some regions also the trees data. So the result of this is that we still have a world where VFR flying is possible. It gives us a reasonably accurate representation of the world. And the third point is that we can pre-cache arbitrary regions of the world. What this means here is that you can select regions of the world that you want to pre-cache, and you can access them in an offline setting while still having the same quality you would enjoy in an online setting. To put some images again on those words, I will show the 3 different quality levels that you can experience. First one here, offline mode. This is the Seattle area in offline, and as you can see, all the buildings are there, all the water information is there, and the city is recognizable. Second here is online Paris. So the majority of buildings here are being automatically generated, and you also have the water information, and it's a more accurate version of the world. And here again, VFR flying is possible. And third, here is where we have the best quality. This is the city of New York. You may have recognized it. This is when we have photogrammetry data available in big maps for more than 400 cities. But now, how about the fine details? Because it is impossible to accurately capture all the very fine details of the world. Like you cannot know exactly where each blade of grass is or which precise details you have on a given building. So in order to add this level of precision to Microsoft Flight Simulator, we relied on procedural generation. We are adding ground details for dirt, grass and asphalt. We generate grass blades, actual 3D geometric grass blades. We display millions of them on screen. We also add water shading, up to the point that we even have the water affected by the wind, which creates waves on the water. We also add night lights, both along the roads and on the buildings. We also add details to the buildings. And all of this helps create a much more believable world. As you can see here, this is taken in Bretagne, France. And as you can see, you have the procedural grass being generated. You have those little houses that are generated. You also have those trees that are being generated procedurally. You also have the water shading for the sea. And it gives a much more realistic representation of the area. So this is it for the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator. We hope you really enjoy it as much as we do. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that was the most recent update on Flight Simulator 2020. Okay, big thank you to Flight Simulation for that video, which was that video was hosted on their channel. Go check it out for any more updates on that video and that game. So I do want to cut this video short today, this stream even. I want to get some improvements done to the channel and do a bit more learning as well to try and make things be a bit better. Okay, and yeah. Anyway, do hit that button, or that button, depending on your fancy, and don't forget to comment, like, follow, and or subscribe depending on your streaming service of choice. And thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.